So the major components, of course, are going to be the T2i right here, the little plate that goes over the little protector for the LCD, our lens hood that we made, and our tape measure. So the first thing I want to do, let's turn the T2i on so we can at least get something on its little screen. Because what we're going to want to do is just measure the distance. Oh, another thing I want to do, I'm going to take the viewfinder cover off, and I'm going to put our protector in its place. You can also put the viewfinder piece back on. I'm only doing that just for show. It really doesn't matter that much right now, but just so you can get an idea of how that goes on the camera. And you notice that it's not that great of a fit. See how much of a gap there is? That's a piece of crap. But we need it, so we're going to have it on there. Now, if you're blind like I am, you're going to have this thing out quite a ways. So what I had to do was figure out the measurement for me. And that's simple enough. We just put this up, put it up to your eye, and I'm going to get right down in here with it and determine about how far, and I think I remember it being about 7 or 8 inches that worked for me personally. And let's see. Yeah. Well, actually more like 5.5 inches. So we'll check that, but it's going to be up to you how you like the thing. I mean, a lot of you guys are going to have better eyesight than me, so you may be able to get this thing a little closer. And you won't have quite as big a box coming out when we get down to the cutting. I'm going to need between 5 and 6 inches worth of black foam board between me and the camera just to make it work. So that's going to be our next step. We're going to measure off all of the components for the pieces for the foam board that we're going to have to cut out. And actually, the way we're going to do that, let me turn the camera back off and remove all this jazz. Alright, let's set the camera out of the way. We're simply going to make the foam board fit right over the edges of the LCD protector. So when we cut it, we're going to want to allow the thickness. I'm going to take the top piece and the bottom piece, and they will go edge to edge. In other words, the width is going to be right at 3 inches. All right, right at 3 inches exactly. We're going to have to take about 1/4 of an inch off of that when we do the height, because we want these things to all fit and mesh together. And it's about, what is it? It's 2 1/8. So we'll take between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch off to fit in between there. That's going to be our next step. So I'm going to start measuring, and we'll start cutting, and that ought to be kind of an interesting turn of events. All right, to save time, I've already cut the board in half to free up a little bit of space. I'm using the wife's old for sale sign, so I hope she doesn't mind. We're going to measure off 3 inches on our board. And that's going to be our first mark, and I'm just using a pen. Something's got black ink. It shouldn't make that much difference in the final product. And now we want to come down 5 inches, because I determined that to be just about the right size. And again, this is not an exact